Hi everyone, my name's John Ferry and I'm the head of video at Noah Creative, which is a creative agency that's worked with the Growth Hub now for some time. This short video is on the range of different platforms and software that there is out there that enables video conferencing, some of the key differences and just some of the things that you will want to look out for when you're choosing a piece of software to use. Now it's a great time to be looking at doing this kind of thing because it's an industry that has grown a lot in the last few years, which means there's quite a lot of options, which can be confusing, but ultimately means that we have a lot of choice and lots of different features as well, which is a good thing. So you may have heard of companies like Skype, like Zoom, like Flock or GoToMeeting. There are lots, and we're not endorsing any one solution over any other because they're all slightly different and good for different things. What I definitely recommend is that you look at several different options and accept that as we don't know what is happening with the coronavirus situation and with the need to self-isolate, lots of these companies are going to be slightly changing their pricing, offering free trials or giving new feature sets or premium feature sets to free users just to help support businesses through this time. So instead of giving a list of pricing and features now, let's accept that that's probably going to change enormously over the next few weeks. And I definitely encourage you to go out and do your own research and find a provider that seems like a good fit for you. Sometimes you might just like the look and feel of software or find that where the options to mute and unmute your call and invite new people to join is just laid out in a way that you find a little bit easier. It's not a technical difference that's technically better or worse, it's just your own personal preference. So try a few out and see what works best for you. There's definitely some features that you're going to want to look for and just check that are going to be right before you jump into any one particular company or piece of software. One thing you should definitely do is check that the software is going to support the number of people you want to be on the call. Some people will need to host calls for 20, 25, 50 people or more. They'll need people to dial in from different countries and using a combination of different devices. So just check that the software enables the number of people that you're going to need. If you only need kind of 5, 10, 15 people, that's generally going to be supported by everyone, but just check because you want to make sure before you go through the effort to sign up and learn the software first. You're also going to want to make sure that the software integrates well with any software that you like to use in your company or with your team. That could be file sharing software, that could be general word processing and project management software. So for example, Google Hangouts could be a really good option if you use G Suite. If all of your emails with Gmail, then you find yourself using Google Docs and Google Sheets regularly, then it's going to tie into those really, really naturally. On the other hand, Microsoft Teams is part of the Office 365 suite, so if you find that your team uses Word and PowerPoint and Excel regularly, then it's going to be really good at integrating those and allowing you to work collaboratively and share your screen as part of the call. It's important though that you make sure that those features don't overshadow how you're just going to use the video conferencing part of it. So for example, Microsoft owns Skype and they also own Microsoft Teams. And Skype is traditionally just a very simple, straightforward calling software. So you only use it for video conferencing, for catching up, for doing those video calls, whereas Microsoft Teams has all these different elements of collaborative working, remote working, file sharing, creating to-do lists, lots of other things like that. If you don't need that, then that can make it harder to bring your team into it and train them up and make sure that they feel confident using it because there's so many other elements to the software that they might feel overwhelmed by that don't need to be there because they're not things that you're going to use. So have a look at how you're going to use the software specifically and make sure that you're choosing a solution that's just right for you. The other thing you are going to want to pay attention to is how that software handles privacy and how they use your data, because all of them will have a different service agreement, they'll have different rules, they'll be based in different countries that have different legal frameworks for how they manage your data, which ultimately can be everything you discuss during the call, especially if you use software that records your calls. I've had instances where companies that I work with in the legal and financial professional services sector haven't been able to use certain software because their IT company have actually brought it to their attention that it would place them at risk of sharing client data on a level that they didn't quite understand or appreciate. So it's very important that you check that whatever you discuss on the call, especially if it's private, if it's confidential, is going to be protected by the service agreement and how that company handles it.